everybody, this is Lady Di, and episode 5 of Building Di's Bungalows. I just use that because it's the basics. That's what we're trying to cover. And one of the things that we're going to cover in this episode is two phenomena that happen as you build up your settlements. One is you run out of build space, and you get an error that says no more items can be built. Which means the size bar in the upper right hand corner of your build menu will turn the color and show it being completely full. The other thing that happens is you run out of materials to build with. Wood, steel, copper, all the base elements that you will find in your junk inventory, as a matter of fact. So we're going to cover those two items today. The first one we're going to do is about the size bars. You can see mine is just about full. So the best remedy for this is, well, there's several, and I'm not going to go into the detail of how they came up with these formulas, but what it does is they limit you intentionally so that your graphics can be generated and doesn't affect performance too severely, but nevertheless, nobody is satisfied with the size of the build bar. I've never met anybody who could build a settlement of any decent size or quality without having to fudge this little size bar. So, it's known as the weapons glitch. And what you do is you go to your workbench, and you transfer large weapons out of your, or complicated weapons out of your workbench into your inventory. So little things, 10mm, they all work, but better if you use rifles. Don't use mines, or what's December's Child? That's another. Frag mines, grenades just don't work. Hardened sniper rifles. Take an institute. Forget the sledgehammer, machete. Oh, here we go. Missile launchers are always good. And you want to make sure you take 5 or less, because otherwise you'll be dropping multiples, and it doesn't work that way. So you want individual items. Here we go. Sniper rifle, combat rifle. Skip the pipe pistols and rifles. Well, that might work. If you only have pipe rifles, then use them. Use whatever you got in your weapons inventory. We can find some other sighted heavy combat shotguns. So we want the complicated stuff. Okay, so we picked up, what, 10, 15 items? And now what you do is you find a spot, right there. Let's get out of there so you can see what I'm doing. So what you do now is you go into your inventory. Alright, and go to your weapons. And you're going to drop all your miscellaneous items. So we're going to start dropping these items. These are individual items that we're dropping. Now you can do this by scrapping also, but it takes longer. And of course then you don't have the desired items. So okay, so there's all the items that I picked up. And so we're going to drop all of those. Okay, and we go back into the build menu. And now you store them. And you watch the size bar. So we're going to store these in our inventory. And you notice that the size bar is going down. Now, needless to say, it helps if you have a lot of items. Like I said, the rifles work well. Be careful not to store inadvertently your floors or something else. When you first start this, I'd recommend doing it outside, and you see our size bar is now back in the green. It was yellow earlier, and I'm going to do it one more time. And you can do this over and over and over again. So you go back in, find the items, and like I said, I pick stuff that I know I'm going to remember. I've tried mines and grenades, sorry about that. It doesn't work very well. But these items do work. So the more complicated, and what it does is it confuses the system somehow that I'm not going to go into it. Come on, we'll take some pipe pistols too. Pipe revolver. Yeah, we'll put the repper in there too. Now, I'm not going to take that because it's 6, so what we're going to do is, we'll just skip that for now. You want them to be single items. You're going to take that. Okay, there we go. And again, now, if you want, oh, see, I missed all those. And that's why you lose the stuff. But what happens, you do it outside, and all of a sudden everybody's walking through your stuff. So, we're going to do that again. And drop these items. Never fails. You get an update or something in the middle of doing a tutorial. Okay, there they are. Go back into our build menu. And if you do this on Bethesda Dirt, that you don't have to worry about inadvertently deleting your floors or whatever, or storing a floor. And make sure you store them, don't just scrap them, because then you can't reuse them for this. And if you notice, the size bar just keeps going down. Okay, did we get them all? We got all those. Look how far down the size bar has gone. You don't want to do this too often. About 3 full size bars, from experience, has pretty much maxed out your build. Lights affect your FPS. Okay, so I think that's everything we picked up. And if you notice, the size bar has dropped dramatically. So, so that's one of the techniques that you're going to use when you're building settlements, and you're going to have to use it. That's all there is to it. The other one is when you run out of materials. You're going to run out of wood, steel, whatever, and there is a duplication trick that you can use to create additional materials. Now, I don't know if in this particular series did I do this. I might have. There's my box. Notice what's in the box. Copper, oil, gear, steel, and wood. Okay? These are base elements that are you buy like in shipments. Okay? Same material. Now, one of the things I don't have, I have copper in there, but I don't have glass, for instance. So if you're doing a lot of building with glass, you're going to have to duplicate glass. Okay? So we're just going to do something easy. We're going to use wood. Okay? And I'm going to show you something. So this would be the same as if it was in your inventory. Whoops. There it goes. The autosave. Okay. Whether it's in your inventory, if you go to junk. Oops, inventory. That ghosted up nicely, didn't it? Okay, go to junk. Oh, I have nothing in junk. So I've been using the duplication glitch here. Okay? Or if we go into here, same thing. If you go to junk, All this stuff, acid is a basic, adhesive is basic. Aluminum can is not, but aluminum is. Okay, and you notice I don't have any aluminum in them. Okay? To get base aluminum, for instance, you take anything that has aluminum, you see it says antiseptic. Let's see, here's an applicator, it has aluminum and fiber optics. Those are the items that can be duplicated, not the applicator. Okay, I want to make sure you understand that. So if I take this out and scrap it, I will get 1 aluminum and 1 fiber optic. Okay, biometric scanner, fiber optic, 1 fiber optic, 1 asbestos, 2 nuclear material. The base item is what can be duplicated. Alright, so if we wanted to add glass, for instance, let's go see if we have any glass in here. Okay, crystal is another base. No glass. But I have gold. No glass. So you'd have to find something that has glass in it. Okay? And then you would scrap it. Or you could buy a shipment, for instance. Okay? I don't buy shipments anymore. I just simply get what I need. For instance, ceramic is a major component. You could scrap out all your dirty ashtrays and get 14 ceramic and start duplicating. Okay? So what we want to do, oh, here's glass. Okay, so you get 1 glass per drinking glass. Wowee. It gets complicated in a hurry. Okay, but I'm just going to go ahead and take out from my little kit here 1,758 wood. Now I'm overweight. Okay, and there it is. So what we want to do is we are going to throw this on the ground. 1 big chunk of wood. Okay, you're going to love this. There's our wood. So we're going to drop that on the floor. And there it is. There's 1,758 pieces of wood. Okay. Now here's the duplication glitch. And this is where it gets a little confusing. So, what you need to do is you go into your build menu, and if you notice, you have 2 options that we're going to be using: store and scrap. Okay, on the PlayStation you're going to use the bullseye and the scrap, and what you want to do is I use my thumbs, and you hit the scrap button and then snap the store button. Or I'm sorry, other way around. Hit the store button and then snap at with your thumbnail, for instance. I do just touch the edge. So what we're looking for, nope, didn't get it. Nope, I don't want to do that. Ah! Not easy. Nope. And what you're doing is you're snapping the scrap button with your thumb and hitting the store button almost at the same time. And it's just in the timing to get this. Okay? And you hold the store button. Come on. Nope. Ain't it. There we go. We have a scrap wood on top, and underneath is the store. Okay? So you scrap the wood, hit X, and store the wood by answering yes with your thumb still on the store button. Guess what? It now scrapped 1 item and put it in the workbench and stored the other item in the workbench. So now, when we go to the workbench, whoops, we go to junk, and guess what? And I picked wood because it's always at the bottom. They use a lot of wood, and there it is. Look at that. 3516. That's exactly the duplicate of what we started with. So we're going to take that. So what we're going to do now is, once more, we took it out of the workbench, and now we're going to drop it back on the ground, and you're going to see something. There's two equal pieces of wood that starts out with the original 1758. So what happens is you've now duplicated it. Okay, so if you were starting with a small item, you would have to do this multiple times, many times. Okay, so to do that, what you would do is you go back into Workbench, okay, and scrap these items, okay, and it's going to store them into the Workbench as one single item now, because that's how the Workbench works. It sticks them together in groups. And so we go back to the Workbench, and we go to Junk. Oops, and guess what? There's our wood. We transfer that. And drop the wood on the ground, and guess what? And now I have one piece of wood. That's how the duplication glitch works. Do it one more time. Okay. You snap the scrap button, which is the square, and almost simultaneously press the store button and hold it. Whoops. Except for one little detail. This is something I do constantly. You have to be in the build menu. Okay, there we go. Snap the scrap and press the store almost simultaneously. Nope. And double menus will appear. No. There we go. Scrap is on top. You're still holding the store button. Hit the X, you scrap the first batch, and then store the second batch. Okay, and it's stored in the Workbench. And so we'll go back and look at our Workbench. So what I do, I'm going to transfer that. And guess what now? We're going to have two bundles. I'm going to drop that, and there they are. So what I do is I take one, go up to my storage container, and transfer my duplicated, so I have a working amount. If you remember, we started with 17 something, half of that amount. I'm going to transfer that in, and then we just simply go back into build mode, I'm sorry, and store that. And we now have, that wood is now stored there. So that's how the duplication glitch works, folks. If you want me to demonstrate it again, you'll have to leave me a message, and I'll try to explain it better. It's not easy, it's just in the timing of snapping the scrap button and hitting the store button so that you get the double menus. And you have to hold the store button down. Don't let it go until you've completed the cycle. Alright? So that concludes episode 5 of Building Die Bungalows. We now have additional workspace. You can see my size meter has dropped significantly. And we have more wood in our inventory. So when we come back next time, we're going to do a little something special here, I think. But it's up to you guys. If you have comments or want to see something specific, let me know. Until then, this is Lady Di saying toodles.